All right, everybody. Stocks by the numbers. Welcome back. I just wanted to do a quick update because we saw this one just actually drop a couple hours ago, bigly, after hours on news that they delayed slightly the filing of their earnings from today after close. They were expected, rescheduled for tomorrow morning. And as you see, the stock has dropped, sitting here now roughly down about 30%, was down about 50 plus percent at one point initially after the announcement. But we're looking at Bakkt Holdings symbol BKKT listed here on the New York. Now, this is a crypto trading platform that a lot of people were pretty pumped about back in the day. And we actually looked at it back here. It was like the first week of June 2023. And of course, our prices were very different because we went through a split. But at the time, it was like $1.45 or one and a half. And we were looking at some of the technicals, and I was saying, in my opinion, you could see a potential pullback. At the time was to about $1, I think we were looking for. And then we were speaking about the spike up, because even if we go back and we look at the stock before that, right, people were getting pumped because they thought that this company was going to become one of the main trading platforms. They mentioned that it was owned by the Intercontinental Exchange, right? They were the ones behind it, so they felt it had a good backing and it was going to become some powerhouse. And at the time we did an update over here, it was the end of November in 2023. We came back to it. We were looking at some headlines. This was the news again that they had the big jump up in revenue. So everyone got excited. The stock started to climb up and run. And you can see that it did go on a pretty nice run after these earnings started to come out and people got it trending again. But you can see again, as I said, even back in these videos here, I said, in my opinion, a stock like this, when you see it pop, you want to see it hold that value, though, at least, and flatten out. And this company, what we're seeing, well, what we were seeing, excuse me, is, again, you have these big run-ups. People forget about it. Maybe they force a little bit of a squeeze and then it sells off and it goes even lower, right? You have these pops and then it immediately gives it back and it goes lower. Flattens out, quiets down, boom. You have these run-ups and then it gives it right back and it bottoms out. So yeah, I spoke about here, the stock pulling back at the time was like 65 cents or something. And you can see again, we went on the run-up after those earnings and immediately gave it back, came down even lower. And we haven't looked at the stock together since then, the end of November 23. So it's been a while, but you can see we did happen to go through a reverse stock split, 1 for 25. And then we were kind of bouncing around, had a big pop here after these earnings back November. So what, that was like 6 months ago. We had a big spike up. We're dropping down, right? No, not 6 months ago. What am I saying? It was like 4 months ago. But obviously, we popped up, we started to flatten out, then we dropped back bigly again, and we've been bouncing around, and now we had this news today after hours. So if we look after hours, you can see, look at that, the stock immediately dropped down to 698. Oh no, 5.5. 5.5 right on the dot, and then it started climbing a little bit, got back to the 20-day, and as you see, has kind of flattened out for about the last 2 hours and change. So hard to predict what they're actually going to report. But, it's interesting because there were rumors supposedly a couple of months ago and a while back of potential acquisitions here with Bakkt Holdings. So, it could either be very, very good or it could be very, very bad, whatever they say tomorrow, right? And it's obviously it's up in the air. And unfortunately, the company really hasn't been performing well. So, I mean, I guess we can kind of lean more towards predicting negative, right? Maybe slightly lean it like 60-40, negative to positive. But again, you never know what they could announce. And I only mention that because, yeah, so you can see shares fall, rescheduling the report. We saw this again with Supermicro, right? SMCI. Anytime you see, markets don't really like hearing that. If you're delaying any earnings reports, if you're delaying these 10Ks, they don't like that, and it almost immediately raises a red flag in their mind, right? And if you happen to report that everything's fine and it was just a slight hiccup and it's back to business as usual, then Wall Street will slowly but surely probably rebound your stock to where it was. So it's situational, but of course, when we do hear about these delays of any filings, it's usually initially viewed as a negative. So you can see stock, they're showing saying 30%. Again, it was down more than 50%, 5.5%. Alpharetta, Georgia company will now release its fourth quarter and full year 2024 results before Tuesday's bell. Afterwards, it will host a conference call at 8:30 a.m. The company was originally scheduled to release its earnings and host this conference call after Monday afternoon. No reason was for the delay was given. I read that the way they... No reason was for the delay was given. Yeah, okay. Thought I was having a breakdown. But, all right, so no reason given, and earnings delayed until tomorrow morning. And again, you can see that is not what anyone wanted to hear, and we dropped down. So I drew out these trend lines, and you can see this is going from the top of June 7th, 2024, cutting across to the top of that body right there, July 16, 24, and that comes down, that's this one. And you can see how it meets up right there with the bottom of those recent candles here that we had just over the last couple of weeks. So that was kind of like the downtrend, but it was holding, it needed to hold that level. Otherwise, it would have gone lower. And the problem is you get this news now, and you can see that, look, this was a bottom support level going back from the low right after the split was enacted. You can see May 1st, 2024, coming up to November 5th, 24, coming up to the looks like the bottom bodies of those candles there just over the last couple of days. But you can see that even though it was dropping down, it was kind of bouncing off of that support level, right? And trying to hold that value. And now with this announcement coming out, we broke that support trend line. We broke that top downward trend line. And now you can see that if we look at this trend line going from the next high, July 16, 24, and that comes down to that high right there before the pop, November 13, 24. Boom, we draw that down. I mean, you know, again, if we get bad news, this stock could drop down to the very low fours. It could immediately chunk down. I don't know if that'll happen, but, you know, these numbers are showing different revenue, apparently, than what the company is actually reporting. If you come over here, you can see hundreds of millions. But, you know, again, if these are the real numbers, remember, well, you might not remember, but the last time we did an update, the company said they were predicting fiscal year 2024, which is what we're in now, revenue of like 3.8 to like 9 billion or something. They were really expecting a chunk up in business. And that's why I kind of said, you know, because of the recent performance of the stock, I would have kind of like that wait and see mode. Let's see if the revenue actually comes in, you know, let's see if it really starts growing like a beast, and then we can reevaluate the situation and we can decide, yeah, it might be worth, you know, owning a piece, or, you know, let's just kind of hang out. Let's see what happens. So even if we use these numbers here, and I believe these are accurate, because if we go back, again, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I just want to scroll back to like previous earnings. Yeah, see what I mean? This is showing 509 million, estimates of 16 million. These numbers are all over the place, but again, even if we use these numbers, which I believe are accurate, 850 million, 500 million, so you're at about 1.3 billion, and then 300 million, so you're at like 1.6, right? So that's less than, as of right now, right? Because again, we're getting earnings for the last quarter tomorrow morning. But as of right now, you're on track to do about less than half of the low end of your original guidance for the year. So technically, the business did pick up though, right? I mean, now we're making hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter. So definitely a big turnaround in the business overall. But more importantly, we just completely missed the mark, and we went through this reverse stock split. So now, I actually think the company continues to suffer, but, you know, I mean, the stock value, I should say, might continue to suffer. But the only reason why I still have about 40% leaning towards positive as opposed to saying, no, 90% negative, 10% positive, is because, as you see, there were rumors supposedly, even just a couple of weeks ago, Apex FinTech evaluating potential acquisition of Bakkt. So this is supposedly kind of floating around the rumor mill. They said they didn't confirm. Distribution begins for Bakkt Holdings, $3 million settlement payout to investors. Negligence, making misleading statements, financial misrepresentations. They paid out $3 million. This was about a month ago. But okay, wait, Bakkt payout. TruthFi hints of potential digital wallets, asset training. Wait a minute. Group was looking to acquire Bakkt. A new trademark filing could further signal the media company's growing crypto aspirations. Which trademarks? TruthFi. But I know there were rumors. The Financial Times previously reported that Trump Media was in advanced talks to acquire Bakkt, a cryptocurrency company backed by the Intercontinental Exchange. Bakkt said back in June it was exploring strategic alternatives that could include a sale or breakup of the company. Previously spoke ill of crypto. Acquisition of Bakkt would push Trump's media company and the president-elect deeper into the cryptocurrency set, obviously. Yeah, but see, that's the real question. Is he going to specifically acquire this company? And that's the unknown. So again, we have news supposedly a couple of weeks ago, these rumors flying around, Apex FinTech potentially might step in to buy out this company, which again, even if, they offer 20 a share, 30 a share even, again, you can see really, unless you got in recently, it's not going to make much of a difference for you, right? Because this thing was bleeding for years. So I don't know how shareholders really feel about this situation, but yeah, technically it was kind of like the middle of November. It was around like November 18th, apparently, right around the time they filed that patent, where we had the news. Yeah, no, that says, yeah, see, and the 19th, supposedly they were in talks to buy the company. He's in advanced talks to buy Bakkt cryptocurrency. Okay, so, oh man, so obviously one of two things can happen here. This is the way I'm personally looking at it. So it was about 4 months ago, supposedly, when Trump Media approached this company and was in advanced talks, as they said, for a potential buyout. And then we kind of didn't hear anything about it. So that tells me one of two things. Either A, they needed time to get their ducks in a row before they made the announcement, and Trump Media, I guess, as a company, as a business, made the leap into the cryptocurrency space, right? So for all we know, we might hear that news tomorrow in the AM before market opens. On the flip side, though, if we had Trump Media approach them, and then a couple of weeks ago we had supposedly Apex approach them, and no one's commenting, no one made a move, that could potentially mean that people could be interested in this type of situation, but they may not be interested in this specific company. Because again, I know some people were, we were kind of butting heads a little bit when we looked at it back in 23, and when some people were like, no, I think this is going to be huge, because they got the Intercontinental Exchange backing, crypto's awesome, blah, blah, blah. So it's a sticky situation, but obviously if you're a shareholder, I'm pulling for you, and I, hope someone does step in and, throw out a bid, and then all of a sudden there's momentum. I hope that these numbers come out and they're not too crazy, and then the stock, regains some life for everybody, because it did immediately lose 50% real quick. and you can see still sitting down about 32%. So you guys know I'm pulling for you, whether I agree with you or not. But I just wanted to do a quick update because that had a big drop today, and who knows what could be coming tomorrow. You know, the company could announce big news in a positive way, or the company could potentially announce big negative news, and you might see the stock again close here post market at 8 and change, and then open pre market down here at 3 or 4. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on it, only because I know a lot of people were looking at it in the past. But you know, again, unfortunately, this is why I like doing it my way. Again, and you know, if you happen to catch one of these pops, of course, congratulations. Even at the time when I first looked at it, though, I did mention this was a trader stock, and at the time it was under Biden, right? So it was like more of a trader's market as opposed to an investor's market. Still kind of is a trader's market, but I basically said again, you know, look for a sell-off, and then if it rips, you got to sell those rips. You know, you could buy those dips, but if it rips, you got to sell those rips. You can't get married to these situations. Get in, get out, secure profits, bada bing, bada boom, move on to the next one. And you can see again, even here, news after the earnings, boom, we had a big pump, we calmed down, took another leg higher, and then immediately gave it back. So that's why something like this, you got to be in and out. But was a big drop, caught my eye. So I figured I'd jump on and do a quick update, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll jump on again midday tomorrow, and we'll speak about it again and see if we might have something brewing maybe in the acquisition area, or if you know, the company is still struggling and it's not worth your time. But that's pretty much it. I'll end it there. Once again, Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop it down in the comment section. I'm usually pretty quick to reply. Thumbs up algorithm helps me get more eyes on the channel, and of course, subscribe to the channel. That is our handshake agreement. That is how you help me help you. But more importantly, moving forward, like I always say, I understand that markets are rocky, they're volatile, and they are very uncertain. So I want to wish all of you success. I hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.